Is The Magnificent Seven my favorite movie of all time? No, but to a boomer like me, it's boss. That's how we said cool back then, but only for a while. Because as a word that expresses something that hits you favorably, you just can't outcool cool. And if you were a young towhead kid like me in the early 60s, this movie was the coolest. Why? Attitude. Oh, yeah, this movie has whole bunches of attitude. So thank you, Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson, and James Coburn for the cool. Horst Buchholz? Well, you're semi cool. Just settle for cute. Robert Vaughn? Tough break, Robert. And a tough role. But cowards just don't cut it with 7-year-olds. And Brad Dexter? Well, he looks like he stepped in from another movie, or like he just got off the plane from Vegas. And then there's Eli Wallach, who essays another great villain in a 60s era stretch that includes Lord Jim and the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, Yul Brynner is cool because he's the leader of the gang, and that goes with the job. Charles Bronson is cool in a hard way, and James Coburn is cool in a quiet way. But Steve McQueen steals the movie. Oh, he's tough, all right, but he's also funny, and that's what makes him the coolest. This was the second of 3 films he did with director John Sturges, and I think Sturges brought out the best in him. In their earlier film, Never So Few, McQueen's film persona really starts to take shape for the first time. In The Magnificent Seven, it's there in spades. And in The Great Escape, it crystallizes into superstardom. He goes on to give other great performances in The Sand Pebbles and Papillon. But for sheer cool, this is Steve McQueen at his very best. Not even Bullet can touch it. As everyone knows, this is a westernized version of Seven Samurai, which is one of the greatest films ever made, full stop. Kurosawa's Rashomon, the film that opened Japanese cinema to the world, was also remade into an American Western called The Outrage, which is also one of my favorite films. Composer Elmer Bernstein delivers one of the most iconic film scores in movie history. William Roberts is credited with writing the screenplay, but as usual in Hollywood, it went through a number of scribes beforehand. What is notable is the economy of the storytelling. The scene where Charles Bronson is approached stands out in particular. In a few deft sentences, we get everything we need to know about the character. Formerly a high priced mercenary, he's now reduced to chopping wood for his breakfast. We find out more later, of course, but for now, that's all we need. Although all of the actors started work in the 50s, 4 of them rose to prominence in the 60s. These rising young stars, somehow their energy, their hunger came right off the screen. You could feel it, and it seemed to match the new spirit in the country. It was new and fresh. They were new and fresh. And it played. Oh man, how it played. And it still plays today, because cool never goes out of style. Back then, you didn't get to see a movie whenever you wanted. You had to wait for it. The TV guide was our Bible. Yes, it was in a smaller format than today, but so was TV. Point is, you went through the TV guide and checked off the ones you had to see. And The Magnificent Seven, that was a perennial. After its network television premiere on the ABC Sunday Night Movie, every local station had a crack at it. But if someone was running it, you checked it off in the guide and told your friends you were staying in that night. Most likely they were doing the same. Yeah, we loved our movies all right, and still do. But what made them special was they weren't everything. Oh, I liked watching TV, and I liked reading a book or two, but I also liked getting out of the house. Winter, spring, summer, fall. I liked them all. See you around the campus.